5FACT-SHOW. We talk about music, poetry, drama, and all the business in between.
Okay, welcome everybody to the 5FACT-SHOW, where we keep it short, sweet, and factual. Today, our old friend is in town. She's relocated to Joburg, but she's in Bloom now, so I thought, let me just, grab a hold of her quickly and have a chat to hear where she's at, what she's doing, what's going on. So without any further ado, Tsimo.
Hello.
I'm going to start with the obvious question. I'll ask, who are you?
Okay, so Tsimo is a singer-songwriter born in Lesotho and bred in Bloom. Now based in Joburg. I could actually say I'm in between the two places because Bloom is still home, but and it's definitely a girl with a dream and just chasing that dream.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
When I met you, you worked at the university.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you gradually, I witnessed how you gradually, did the artistic hustle.
Yeah.
Until you are where you are right now. But I want to start at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you and music meet?
This is a story that I tell all the time at my shows or whatever. So my brother actually introduced me to music. He started in his room producing music. He was making house. Okay. And I tried and I sucked at it. So I thought, okay, let me write to the songs that he's producing. And then we sort of formed a little duo. The word spread around that I'm a writer. I started writing for the groups because I was in a very artistic age, as I could say. Everyone was trying to pursue music somehow at that time. So I started writing for other groups, other solo artists, and eventually someone told me, but you can actually sing, hey? Which is not something I ever thought about myself, but that's when I started trying it out. And then when I got to varsity, I actually started performing from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, and then obviously you studied not music.
No.
Yeah. You studied something completely different.
Yeah.
When did you realize that this is what I want to do?
I think I've always known. I've always been a writer. I started out as a poet for my brother. I started and then writing songs to his music, but I was a very shy and quiet person, which I still am if someone really doesn't know me. And it's always been my way of expressing myself. If I couldn't talk to someone, I always locked myself up in the room and listened to music, and I'd always find the perfect song to express how I'm feeling. So it's always been my medium of expression or therapy. So it's always been a part of me. And I think when I got to varsity, the opportunities to explore myself on stage and get to engage with other people, they rose. So but it's definitely always been something that I knew I'm supposed to be a part of in some way. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, as a director, right, I always have to, sometimes with it's singers or actors, I always have to constantly explain the difference between you being on stage, the persona on stage, and the persona off stage. And being like you say, being an introvert kind of person, how do you balance that? Because I've seen you perform, and it's obviously not like
really.
No, you kind of go to a different space. And you really go out of your way to engage with your audience. You make them feel like you have this thing. And how do you do that?
For me, I think it starts at the process of me writing a song. For me, that's the biggest thing I am. I'm a writer, and it is about conveying a message. And for me, music is very spiritual. Whether you're writing a love song or you're writing whatever, it is a spiritual process, and you are being used as a vessel to bring a message across. And I go on stage with that mentality that it's not me, I am the song that I am singing in that moment, and I need to be that message and make sure that it's heard, because I don't know who's in the audience at at that moment. I don't know who's going through a breakup. I don't know who is getting married, or or whatever they're going through in that moment. I need to walk off stage knowing that I've made them feel better. I've left them feeling more in love than they were, or I've left them feeling that, my world is crashing, but I can get through whatever I'm going through. So it's not even about me. I forget about me when I get on stage, and I remember that I am the message that I am bringing. Yeah.
Okay, so you made and I'm saying for lack of a better word, you made a very crazy decision.
Yeah.
And I salute you for that. I'm not saying crazy because, oh my gosh, what did you do? It's not like that, because it's also a decision I've made many years ago. Okay, let me just tell people what the decision was. Because they're like, what is Angelo talking about? So you decided to leave a full-paying job to go full-time into the industry in a time where people would say like, why would you do that? You get what I'm saying? And I don't think people will ever understand if they're not an artist, or they don't have the calling that we have, because it's really a calling that will haunt you till the day you die. I think. But just take us through that decision making process.
So like you said, it's an insane decision to make, and I'm a mom. So I have to say it is one of the most abrupt decisions I've ever made, and I'm the type of person who plans everything to the T. Like, I won't do it unless I know I'm gonna be able to feed my kid for a year or whatever. But I can definitely say that it was something that I could even say God pushed me into doing. And I was never going to do it until, when you're staying in that situation and you're becoming uncomfortable, and you don't understand why you're here anymore, and this place is just no longer serving you, and you need to go and see what is on the other side. And it was insane, but I especially took the decision to do it in that time because I thought, okay, it's going to be a very quiet time. I am new in the industry, so it's not like I can say, oh, people are going to be wondering where Tsimo is or whatever. And I can use this year to really learn. I can use this year to surround myself with people who are in the industry. I can really go to Johannesburg and feed myself and just take in everything, and that's exactly what I decided to do. And I think, it depends on where you are as an artist and where you want to end up. But the reality is that if you want to thrive in the South African industry, you're going to have to go to its hub. You're going to have to eventually go to Johannesburg, whether you want to come back to Bloem or not, or wherever you're from. You're going to have to go there and network, because it's not about the talent anymore. It's about who you know. It's about who you have connected with. It's so many things added in, including the talent. And I wanted to use that year to do that.
So, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced, being in that space?
It's a big pond to swim in. Everyone is hungry. No one really has the time to sit down with you and be like, this is what you need to do. But I am blessed enough, and I was fortunate to have met people who were really willing to sit down with me and say, okay, this is the direction that you need to take. I got a lot of time to be in studio and to write and to really figure out my sound, which is something I didn't have the time to do because I was working in 8 to 5. If I wanted to make music, I had to call a producer that I thought was good, and we'd only have a month to produce a project. But I had a year to really sit in studio and go through music and figure out my sound and work on my writing. So that's something that I really appreciated about the lockdown. And even though I've been quiet, I can come out stronger. So I'm definitely excited about that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, my second last question. We're living in a weird space right now where you have artists protesting, clubs shutting down, people not sure will the art survive. What would your message be? To to the current artists, but also to the inspiring ones. You know, who still, because that desire, like I said, it doesn't leave you. You know, when you look out the window and the world is dying, that thing is still there.
Yeah.
You know, what would your word of encouragement be to them?
I would definitely say you need to keep pushing. It was a difficult year. I think it was a difficult year for everyone. And I remember sitting with a fellow musician, and he asked me if God could show you your future 10 years from now, and your future does not look the way you expected it to. You know, you didn't make it in the industry the way you wanted to make it. You were not mainstream. Would you continue doing it? And my answer was, yeah, it would suck, but I'm gonna make music anyway. And that is how you know that even if it's not gonna turn out how you want it to be, you're not gonna make your millions, that you are meant to do what you're doing. And if you can answer that question and you're like, yes, I'm in the right space, then you need to keep pushing. You need to find other ways of getting your music out there. We're moving towards the digital age, and we need to respect that. So keep pushing, find new ways of being creative, and stick to your calling. It's gonna happen, and you just need to keep going. That's it. Yeah.
Stick to your calling.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
So what can we look forward to? What can we expect for 2021?
Yes.
What's up?
So I was quiet for a while. I was quiet because I was in studio, really. So I have a couple of singles coming out. I got to work with Batundi, who's a very talented producer. So I will be releasing a couple of songs that I did with him. And I'm also working with a gentleman by the name of Slake, an amazing producer that I'm very excited about. So the EP that I'm working on with him is dropping in July this year, July, August. So yeah, but they can definitely expect a single around April.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So
Yeah.
we'll do a single feature in April.
Yes.
I hope.
Definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, but thank you so much for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and just we'll follow you on the links below.
Yes.
And see what you're up to.
Thank you so much. Thank
All
you
the
for
best.
having me. Thank you.
We out.
You had my devotion, I would go through all the motion.